Welcome to Fuel. Fuel stands for Finance, Unity, Empowerment, Legacy. Join us today as Mac, Dr. Jackie, and Dennis continue their discussion on the power of passive income, part 2.
So it's a system that works for me, but the problem with your client is not understanding that word methodical. So she had that windfall and said, I'm gonna pay it off, not hearing the advice that was given that, hey, next month you're gonna be in the same situation and having no money. But if you could have just methodically done what was recommended over those next 10 months, not even a whole year, you would have been out of debt. And when we talk about even, that just means that now you don't have back debt.
Right.
Stress.
Right. So now you can start being, using the sports analogy, you can start thinking about offense now. How can I now take some money and make it work for me?
Right. Well, right at that time that they get even, you still, well, actually beforehand, you still need to work on the concept of spending, because what they do is look at a clean credit card and it's a ticket to ride and they're out using it. And so it's a multiple. I was working with a gentleman who said to me, on Sunday, I'm going to get a large amount of money, and I'm going to just say $5,000. Okay, it was a gift coming from a aunt or somebody, and on Monday, remember this is Sunday, and on Monday he's talking to me on Friday. On Monday, I want to go to the store because I'm really bad with money and it's going to burn a hole. He's saying this, okay? So he understands that he's got this problem. He is putting up no internal skills to work it. He is putting it out there and saying, I'm this wall, and the only way that it's going to change colors is if you paint it. I will not be pulling up the paintbrush and painting and helping myself, okay?
Yeah.
So I looked at the debt on Friday. I set up a plan in preparation for Sunday of what to do. When I talked to him on Monday, he'd already broken it, okay? He was in the car on the way to buy whatever. He had a reason. He was doing it as a gift for somebody, so it could be all right. He'd already paid more on a bill and something else. What the only thing that was different in this situation to turn it around is that he allowed me and respected me to be the master painter. And I stopped him. He turned his car around. He went home. We went back over the plan. But it's really hard, you know, and this is not a young person. I always say the young people, it burns a hole in it. It's in your psyche, and you've got to figure out, are you a budgeter? Are you a saver? Can you put that discipline? Can you be methodical? They always figure that they have a better plan.
All right, you guys have hit the next subject. I don't know if y'all meant to do that. I'll never share my notes with you guys ever again. So we're talking about discipline, because nowadays, even with COVID, we are not disciplined. But the two things that we really should take out of our conversation, other than discipline, which is really important, is you take your money, however little or however much it is, and you find somewhere to invest it. Because passive income, even if it's just $1, is probably $2 you don't have to go out there and work for. Now, my math might be a little off, so forgive me for saying it that way, but a little bit of discipline, a little bit of investing can give you a lot of passive income. So my list is poor people or poor mindset, okay? Don't know the power and importance of passive income. That's the sentence, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Silence is golden.
No, you know what? You know what? The reason that I paused is because, wow, that makes for a great title for what we're talking about. So I'm trying to make sure I jot it down before I lose it. So I want to just take that snippet where you're talking about. You got to say it again now because now it's evaporated out of my head. But it's about the passive income.
Passive income.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to remember.
So I wrote it down. You said passive mindset. Okay, so rather than income, let's look at
no, it was poor mindset.
Poor mindset. With a poor mindset, you do not know the power of passive income.
That was it. Power.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we all got examples on that one. Because when I was working, my coworkers, all they talked about was retirement and investing. And I'm like, I just started working here. I want to party. And they were like, no, saving and investing. Do this. And when you get older, you'll have this. And I'm like, no, I want a new car. And they're like, no, invest and save. And eventually I started doing whatever they told me. And boy, am I thankful.
You know, all of this made me go back to something that Dr. Jackie has said about people that say that they can't save, they don't have money to save. And so I've just been playing around with some numbers. So, you know, taking that concept of saving $1 a day, which $1 a day in 12 months will give you $360. Okay, not an exciting number, but you've saved. Okay, then I said, well, let me take that 360 over the course of a general work experience, work life, which would be 30 years, let's say. And so that would be $10,800. Okay, again, not an exciting amount of money for the way we think, but you saved. Then I just said, now think about this. If you could do that $1 a day in that first year, but then up it to $2 a day the next year, $3 a day the following, and just on and on and on, and not figuring the math out, but just knowing that you would have a nice sum of income in that 30-year period. And again, it just goes to that mentality of, you know, what are you trying to get out of life? You know, you work those 30 years, you know, Dennis talks about, you know, the years that he spent working, those, 16-hour day, commitments that he had. Yeah, whatever, you know. But then you want to be able to at least say, after you've done that, well, I got something that I can really benefit from on the back end, right? But for most people that won't even do that $1 a day, what will happen when they are 65 or older, they'll still have to go back out into the workforce in some capacity with reduced health, possibly, definitely reduced energy, and have to slog away working for money, not working for things that you really want to enjoy. whatever that is. Because, I've been retired now for a couple of years, and I probably work harder now than I did in the workforce, but it's what I want. It's, because I'm working for things that I want, not material, but for, philanthropic things that, so again, just getting that mindset, a dollar a day first year, $2 a day
I
the
like
second
that.
year, all, compounding.
I like that.
Okay. Dr. Jackie, you want to
No,
say
no, no. I was just thinking of somebody I was talking to about that, and for them, it was even difficult to do a day, but to set up a specific pattern. I like that. I have to talk.
Yeah, because again, it's not so much about the dollar amount, it's the system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So working the system, it could be 30 cents a day, and you just work it up, whatever that is. And no matter what, you'll be better off for it. Now, the only thing is then, it's about then having financial professionals like us to then make recommendations on where you put that 30 cents a day or $1 a day, whatever, to make it work, as advantageously for you as possible.
It reminds me of a story, Dennis, that you shared with us about your father who used to come in, and he had, when you would go over, he had this jar, I think, that he was putting money in, and told you to pull out a certain amount, and you thought, oh, this would be a piece of cake. But the little bit that you took that made the $500 or whatever, $100 or whatever it was, left so much more. There's no real understanding of that word compounding that you use, Mac, of the power in the growth, in the consistency of the action. Okay, you following me?
Yeah.
If that consistent action, you are able to grow your money so much more than you ever imagined. So be it a penny, because we've talked about doubling a penny and how much it amounts to, be it 50 cents, be it $1, if you do it consistently, that power is well, the amount of growth is so much more powerful than you think.
So I'm going to suggest a book called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
It's a good book to read, and it outlines almost everything that we're talking about. But one thing is the gentleman wanted to know how to become wealthy. So of the 15 things that keep people poor, number one is they don't realize that wealth is built step by step. So that $1 a day or 50 cents a day, although it sounds small right now, like Max said, 300 days from now, 1,000 days from now, 10,000 days from now, it has grown into something pretty substantial. And if you were getting a modest 5 to 10% interest, it would be worth, enough to maybe not change your life and make you wealthy. But if you apply the other principle of additive saving, and that's where, the first year you do the $1, second year you do $2, the third year you do $3, the fourth year you do $4, additive saving, and that's my word. You can actually end up not only compounding, but multiplying your storehouse, and you save your storehouse in time of plenty for time of famine. So that was actually my next thing. You guys are jumping all over my list. So I have skipped like 4 things already to get the one that you've already talked about. So I'm gonna do another one real quick.
Real quick too, Dennis, because one of us has a obligation in a few minutes. So
yeah. Thank you.
All right, well, I'll do one more. And this one is So I'm gonna start with the question. What do you think the stimulus checks were given to you for?
Ooh.
And what did you do with it? So I can only tell you about some of the stories I've heard. Because Apple has an iPhone 12. I'm sure some of them were bought with stimulus checks. People were shopping.
Hold up, man. You going for the conclusion of the story before addressing that first part.
I'm just trying to give you examples.
I know, but why was it given in the first place is the key. If I'm understanding it correctly.
Yeah. Who are they trying to stimulate?
Thank you. Okay. See, let's deal with that first. Okay.
You know, when I'm 62, and I can't imagine the government giving anybody of color money. I've seen them give the Japanese money. I've seen them give the Chinese money. I've seen them give Jewish people money, but I ain't never seen them give Black people money. And Dave Chappelle had a skit where reparations were paid. And it's a funny skit, but it's a sad commentary on the lives of some melanated peoples, because he said over 10,000 recording studios were started. And the announcer said, we gave them the money yesterday and they're already trying to give it back. So money stays in our communities less than a week, but every other community longer. The Asian community, money stays in their community for months, but our community is gone in a day. So why was the stimulus check given? And to who are they trying to stimulate? See, what you don't know is a stimulus check was given twice before. So the first one was reparations. So Black folks think that they're going to get reparations, but the truth is they gave reparations to the white colonials who owned slaves. They were given money because they lost their slaves. So it was never meant to give to Black folks. The second reparations was given to the banks. If you remember the bank bailout, actually it's probably been more than two, because GM got a reparations check. Mm-hmm. And a lot of reparations checks been given out. But the best reparation check is, that's political. I'm gonna leave political alone because there's one given out right now that doesn't have nothing to do with money. But just think of the number 6, that's the day of the month, the 6th. There's a reparation check given out for that right now. But anyway, so here we go. We get this stimulus check and we don't know what to do with it. We live in okay. They gave us whatever they were giving out, 14,600, whatever they were giving out. Boy, that iPhone 12X sure look good. So somebody told me, and I forgot his name, so I apologize, that if you don't come out of this COVID thing in better shape than you went in, you wasted your stimulus check. So don't say you didn't have the money. Now, I do know people that checks save their lives, so don't get me wrong. I know sometimes you got to eat, but don't tell me that you had to spend it all that week.
That's it. You know, this is a perfect place for us to put a pause, and maybe we'll just pick it up on the next go round. But that leaves a lot of food for thought. And I'm just hoping that our audience will just take heed of all of these things that we've shared today, because we've been all over the map. but all of them, if you take it in stride, are going to stimulate your financial futures. So any real super quick closing words, Dr. Jackie?
No, I think we should just end it there. I thank you all for your interest and participation. We'll be back.
All right. Dennis?
I will talk too long, but I practice on my daughter. So we will see how well it works.
And I'm practicing on family members that I will leave unnamed. But on behalf of Dr. Jackie, on behalf of Dennis, on behalf of me, we just thank you for your time, and we look forward to sharing again the next time on Fuel. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been part 2 of our episode on the power of passive income. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fueling Future Generations. Also, you can reach out to us directly at fuelingfuturegenerations2020@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you and have a great day.